pay is so bad. Our country needs to subsidize childcare, and people like
With all due respect, ma'am, if you want the cost of childcare to go down, subsidies are not the answer. 3 of the most expensive things in the United States today are healthcare, housing, and college, and all 3 are subsidized by the federal government and state and local. And they didn't always used to be that expensive, and they didn't always used to be subsidized. Let's look at the example of college. This is from a quick Google search, a paper from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, Credit Supply and the Rise in College Tuition. This is the abstract from that paper, which I'll read about halfway down. We find a pass-through effect on tuition of changes in subsidized loan maximums of about 60 cents on the dollar and smaller but positive effects for unsubsidized federal loans. The subsidized loan effect is most pronounced for more expensive degrees, those offered by private institutions and for 2-year or vocational programs. In layman's terms, every time they increase the amount of funding available through grants, unsubsidized and subsidized loans, the cost of tuition goes up. Here's another very, very clear example comparing student loans to credit cards, auto loans, HELOCs, which are either not subsidized or not subsidized nearly to the extent of student loans. Anyway, just thought I'd put that out there because, subsidies make things more expensive. Unfortunately, they do make things more broadly available, of course, which is the social benefit. But when the cost is absolutely insane like it is now, like, who's benefiting? Nobody. The other thing, too, to remember is, like, this is like a whole commentary on the way our monetary system is set up. It's not necessarily a commentary on capitalism per se. People don't know how our dollar works, which is a big problem. I think if people understood that our money is based on debt and it's not based on any physical asset, so the government can print as much as they want, and it's a system that is designed to benefit asset holders, people that hold assets, people that are wealthy, and it is a system that is not designed to benefit wage earners, people who make their income predominantly from their W-2, because the system is set up to where they inflate the dollar intentionally at least 2% a year. That's their stated goal. Deflation is beneficial for people that earn an hourly wage because, inflation is the increase in money supply, essentially, and deflation is the decrease. So if there's less money around, people who are locked in to make $30 an hour or $20 an hour, if there's less money floating around, their $20 an hour is now worth $25 an hour if there's a deflationary there's deflation in the economy. So it's beneficial for labor to have deflation. Inflation is beneficial for the bourgeoisie, so to speak, the asset holders. And like yin and yang, it's healthy to have both inflation and deflation, but our economy is set up to inflate 2% a year. And if you dig into the Federal Reserve System and all of that, boy, you might want to set up an appointment with a therapist, because it's something that it took me a while to kind of like wash over, like realizing like, oh, the economy is intentionally set up to screw people over. If you'd like to become more informed on this subject, I encourage you to check out the search term End the Fed, ENDTHEFED. It's talking about ending the Federal Reserve. It's kind of an extreme position if you're someone who works at Goldman Sachs, because that bank would not exist if we hadn't sent them billions and billions. Let me give you one more example, okay? Just a quick one about Goldman Sachs during the 2007-2008 recession. Goldman Sachs was given a bailout. They were given a loan, right, from the government at like a near 0% interest rate. They took that money and then went and got treasuries. They bought bonds from the U.S. government that were paying them, I don't know the exact interest rate, but like, let's say it's 2%. They got a bailout loan from the government at near zero that they then went and back to the government and bought treasuries that were earning them a difference of like 1.5%, 2%. They were given a near zero interest rate that they then went back to the government and were making even more money. It was just, that is the criminal activity that is happening still, probably. Matt Taibbi, Taibbi, did a whole article write-up back in the day about that. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.